There is a before and an after, October 9, 2025. Before that date, many of us lived with certain convictions about the sequence of final events. After that date, after listening to Luz de Maria's interview on the O Crux channel, nothing can remain as before. The revelations that the visionary shared are not simple clarifications or additional details. They are truths that completely overturn our understanding of how to face what is about to befall humanity. The visionary provided decisive, clear, unequivocal answers to crucial questions that have tormented the faithful for years. Questions that many of us ask ourselves in nightly prayer vigils, questions that we whisper in our anguished hearts when we read the increasingly urgent heavenly messages. Will the refuges truly protect us from everything that is about to happen? Will the catastrophic events that the prophets announce occur before or after the warning? How must we concretely prepare for natural phenomena never seen before in the history of humanity? Brothers, the answers you will receive today will completely change your perspective and your spiritual and material preparation. If these themes touch the deep chords of your heart, if you feel the urgency of this prophetic word, help me spread these salvific truths. A simple like can bring this message to thousands of souls who desperately need it. Your subscription to the channel will allow this end times evangelization mission to continue. May God bless you for your generous support. Even before entering into the content of the revelations, I must share with you the extraordinary events that characterized this interview, unequivocally confirming the heavenly presence during the broadcast. When God wants to authenticate a message of crucial importance, He never fails to give visible signs that confirm the divine origin of what is being communicated. During the live broadcast, a mysterious ray of white light appeared, shining pure, above Luz de Maria's head. But brothers, listen carefully to this detail that reveals the supernatural nature of the phenomenon. This light was visible only through the broadcast screen, but was not physically present in the room where the visionary was. Thousands of viewers around the world could clearly see this luminous ray, while the people physically present in the room perceived nothing anomalous. This heavenly luminous phenomenon began after the death of the visionary's mother, as if it were a tangible sign of her protective presence from heaven. Luz de Maria's mother, who during her earthly life had supported and protected her daughter in the prophetic mission, continues to watch over her from paradise, manifesting her presence through this luminous sign that accompanies every broadcast. But the most dramatic, most shocking, most revealing event of the spiritual battle underway occurred suddenly during a crucial moment of the broadcast. The internet connection was abruptly interrupted, without any apparent technical explanation. Precisely while Luz de Maria was discussing a teaching of vital importance, the Virgin Mary as Promised Land. The visionary was explaining a truth that many dangerously misunderstand. She was clarifying that the Virgin Mary will not be a geographical promised land, a physical place where to flee, a specific nation where to find refuge. No, brothers. Our Lady will simply be the living personification of God's promise, the incarnation of His infinite mercy toward us, His beloved but sinful children. At the exact moment when this truth was about to be completely revealed, the infernal forces launched a direct attack to prevent this teaching from reaching the faithful. The connection dropped. The screen went dark. Silence replaced the visionary's voice. The demons were winning the battle to hide this salvific truth. But brothers, listen to what happened immediately after. Saint Michael the Archangel, the Prince of the Heavenly Hosts, God's invincible warrior, appeared instantly to Luz de María with a message of spiritual warfare. The archangel revealed that the demons were fighting fiercely, desperately, with all their infernal rage, to prevent that teaching from reaching the hearts of the faithful. Saint Michael personally assured that he and his angelic legions were fighting at that precise moment against the infernal forces, engaging an invisible but real spiritual battle to allow the continuation of the broadcast. God's angels were fighting spiritual hand-to-hand combat against the demons, who were trying to suffocate the truth. And do you know what happened after the collective prayer to Saint Michael the Archangel? After thousands of faithful around the world invoked the powerful name of the Prince of Angels, after they recited with faith the prayer of deliverance, the connection was miraculously restored. Luz de Maria's voice returned to resound. The message that the demons wanted to hide reached souls. The spiritual battle was won by the heavenly forces. If you are deeply grateful that Saint Michael the Archangel fought and won this spiritual battle, to allow this message to reach you despite the fierce opposition of the infernal forces, write in the comments with grateful heart. Thank you, Prince. Amen. Every invocation of this truth is an arrow of light that pierces the heart of Luciferian pride. The Virgin Mary says, "The elements are taking over you, my beloved children. Earth, water, fire and air are charged with electricity, and for this reason, nature will surprise you." Brothers, these prophetic words require a detailed explanation that allows us to concretely understand what this electric charge of natural elements means. We are not talking about poetic metaphors or symbolic language. We are talking about real physical phenomena that will literally transform the nature surrounding us in ways never seen before in the history of humanity. The visionary explained that the sun, our mother star that God placed at the center of the solar system to give life and warmth, is going through a period of extremely unusual, anomalous activity. Unprecedented in modern astronomical history. The sun is projecting enormous volumes of electromagnetic energy toward Earth. We are not talking about the normal solar radiation that has always reached our planet. We are talking about solar storms of catastrophic intensity, coronal mass ejections that launch toward us such enormous quantities of energy that human science struggles even to measure them accurately. This extreme solar activity interacts with the Earth's core in ways that scientists are only beginning to understand. Our planet's core is composed mainly of nickel and silicon, metals that possess natural properties of attraction toward electromagnetic energy. When solar storms reach Earth, these metals in the Earth's core act like giant magnets, attracting and amplifying the electromagnetic energy coming from the sun. The consequences of this interaction between solar energy and Earth's core will be phenomena never seen before in the history of humanity. Phenomena so extraordinary that many will lose faith, thinking they are witnessing demonic supernatural events. But brothers, listen carefully. These are natural phenomena permitted by God, as part of Earth's purification. Luz de María revealed words from the Virgin Mary that seem taken from a science fiction movie, but which are authentic prophecy. My beloved daughter, you will see with your own eyes the solar winds coming toward you, because the air will be tinged with color. Brothers, can you imagine what it means to literally see the wind? We are accustomed to perceiving wind only through its effects. Leaves that move, branches that sway, the sensation on our skin. But Our Lady is saying that we will see the wind itself, visible to our eyes through colors that will manifest in the air. The visionary explained the mechanism of this extraordinary phenomenon. When electromagnetic solar winds reach Earth's atmosphere, They will cause the effect of auroras borealis no longer confined to polar regions, but directly in the air we breathe wherever we are. The electromagnetic energy will excite atmospheric molecules, making them glow with vivid and changing colors. We will be able to literally see colored waves moving through the air from one place to another, like rivers of light flowing in the sky and around us. Imagine looking out your window and seeing the air itself pulsing with changing colors: emerald green, intense purple, crimson red, electric blue, all simultaneously, all in constant motion. But the phenomenon will not be limited to air, brothers. Water will also undergo extraordinary visible transformations that will challenge everything science has taught us. Water, which we have always known as transparent and colorless in its pure form, will lose this fundamental characteristic. Luz de María revealed. Water will cease to be colorless. Due to magnetization and the energy that will reach its surface, water will take on different colors. Brothers, think about the practical implications of this revelation. You will open the faucet in your home and see water of red or green or blue color coming out. You will look at a river and see it flowing with constantly changing hues. The oceans will shine with colors never seen before. Every body of water will become a living kaleidoscope of changing tones. And it doesn't end there, because the same transformation will also affect the earth beneath our feet and fire itself. All four fundamental elements of creation, earth, water, fire and air, will receive so much electric charge from the sun, that this energy will give them completely different colors from the natural ones we have been accustomed to since we were born. The ground we walk on could shine with metallic shades. Flames could burn with colors that go beyond the normal spectrum of fire. Creation itself will be temporarily transformed into a spectacle of light and color that might seem beautiful, but which hides deadly dangers for those who are not prepared. Luz de María explained a terrifying truth that many have not yet understood. The earth itself, possessing so much electricity, will become a conductor of electrical energy when it rains. Let this concept penetrate deeply into your understanding, brothers. The very ground beneath our feet, which we have always considered stable and safe, will become an electrical conductor when wet by rain. Walking on wet ground during these events could be like walking on a live electrical cable. The visionary emphasized with gravity that we will have to quickly adapt to these novelties, because they will damage our organism in significant and potentially fatal ways. We are not talking about small inconveniences or temporary discomforts. We are talking about real threats to our health and our life. A particularly worrying aspect concerns the magnetic attraction that these emanations of solar wind exert on the existing energy in Earth's tectonic faults. Tectonic faults are those fractures in Earth's crust where continental plates meet, and where tensions normally accumulate that are released through earthquakes. With the increase of electromagnetic energy reaching these faults, earthquakes will dramatically increase in intensity and frequency. We will no longer speak of isolated earthquakes hitting one region, while the rest of the world remains calm. We will speak of global seismic swarms, of devastating earthquakes that will simultaneously strike multiple regions of the planet. The visionary recalled a prophecy given many years ago, which now assumes terrifying meaning in light of these imminent events. Heaven had revealed that countries would not be able to help each other when these catastrophic natural disasters occurred. Why? Because every nation in the world will be hit at such a level as to be in total, complete, absolute chaos. There will be no safe country that can send aid to others. There will be no international rescue teams flying from one nation to another to save lives. There will be no donations of food and medicine crossing borders. Every nation, every region, every community will be completely absorbed in the desperate attempt to survive its own disasters. Many viewers asked with understandable concern, could the rain charged with electricity strike us directly with lightning while we walk in the street? It is a legitimate fear, brothers, because if water is electrified and falls from the sky, it might seem logical that it hits us like lightning. Luz de María provided an important reassurance on this specific point. The electrified rain will not strike us directly with lightning while we walk under it. Why? Because when raindrops fall from the sky, passing through the atmosphere and different atmospheric layers before reaching Earth, they will have already lost much of their initial electromagnetic charge. Friction with air, the distance traveled, the dispersion of energy in the atmosphere. All these factors contribute to significantly reducing the electric charge of individual raindrops before they reach the ground. So we will not be instantly struck by lightning from simple contact with rain. However, and here comes a very important warning that could save lives, the visionary provided specific instructions regarding umbrellas. We must absolutely not use umbrellas that have a metal tip at the upper end. That particular metal tip, which is standard in most traditional umbrellas, can attract lightning and atmospheric electricity like a lightning rod. The umbrella with metal tip would transform into a dangerous conductor that attracts electricity directly toward us. Instead of protecting us from rain, it would become an antenna that conveys electromagnetic energy directly onto our body. We must get umbrellas with plastic tips, or other non-conductive materials. Another fundamental precaution, which the visionary emphasized with great emphasis, concerns rivers and natural water bodies. When these electrified rains occur, it is absolutely not advisable, indeed it is extremely dangerous, to go bathing in rivers, lakes, ponds, or in any natural water body. Even though many people in different countries are culturally accustomed to bathing in rivers, especially in tropical regions where heat is intense, during these events this normal practice becomes potentially lethal. The water of rivers and lakes will function as a huge electrical conductor. Immersing oneself in that water would be like immersing oneself in a tub connected to a high-voltage source. Now we arrive at one of the most critical issues for our physical survival: drinking water. Without safe water to drink, the human body survives only a few days. This is an incontrovertible biological reality that no faith, however strong, can change. God created us with bodies that need clean water to function. The visionary explained with clarity a truth we must imprint in our minds. We will not be able to drink water if it comes out of the faucet with a different color, because it will be charged with electricity and will seriously damage our organism. The difference between contaminated air and contaminated water is crucial to understand. When we breathe air charged with electromagnetic particles, these enter our lungs and can cause damage, certainly. But when we drink electrified water, this goes directly into our digestive system, is absorbed into our bloodstream, reaches every cell of our body. The damage caused by ingesting electrified water will be much, much greater than that caused by simply breathing contaminated air. For this reason, the Virgin Mary gave specific and personal instructions to Luz de María. Instructions that we must all now take seriously. Our mother told me that we must locate near our homes a source of drinking water. Brothers, this means we must act immediately, not wait for events to begin. We must explore the surroundings of our homes, identify natural wells, springs, mountain streams. Any water source that does not depend on urban distribution systems, which will inevitably be contaminated. Luz de María then provided practical and concrete solutions for obtaining safe water during these catastrophic events. She suggested drinking coconut water directly from palm trees, which represents a natural source protected from external contamination. Coconut water is contained inside a hard and sealed shell, which protects it from radiation and atmospheric electromagnetism. But above all, and this is fundamental, the visionary emphasized the importance of immediately beginning, today if possible, to accumulate water reserves in our homes. Not small symbolic quantities, but significant reserves that can sustain us for weeks or months. For water stored in large tanks or containers, the visionary provided specific practical advice. Add only 2 small drops of chlorine for each large water container. To ensure that this water does not develop bacteria or algae, and does not damage our digestive system when we consume it, after weeks or months of storage. Regarding private well water, Luz de María explained an important principle. If the well was already full of water before atmospheric water was contaminated by electromagnetic radiation, that underground water could be relatively safe to drink, at least initially. However, the visionary expressed a deep conviction, which reveals God's infinite mercy, even in the midst of the most severe purification. She said she firmly believes that heaven will give something, will provide a divine method or means, to allow us to purify contaminated water. Why? Because the human body completely exposed to electromagnetic radiation, without any source of clean water, will not be able to endure such a situation for more than a few days without divine help. And God, in His infinite mercy, will not allow His faithful children to die of thirst, during the purification that He Himself permitted for our spiritual good. Now we arrive at the revelation that shocked thousands of faithful, and that completely changes our understanding of the sequence of end times events. This is perhaps the most difficult truth to accept for many of us, who had built their hopes on a different understanding of prophetic chronology. The most pressing question asked during the interview concerned precisely the timing of the catastrophic events announced in heavenly messages. Many sincere, faithful wondered, will everything that has been prophesied, the devastating earthquakes, solar storms, electrified water, natural phenomena never seen, happen before the warning or after, when the righteous will already be safe in the refuges? Luz de María's answer dissolved every illusion of easy protection, every hope of avoiding purification through a temporal escape route. With a firm voice and without hesitation, the visionary declared, "It will happen before the warning. It is very, very close." Brothers, let this truth penetrate deeply into your spiritual understanding. The catastrophic events we have discussed, the electrification of elements, colored and contaminated water, global earthquakes, devastating solar storms, will not happen after we have received the grace of the illumination of conscience. They will not happen when we are already spiritually purified and protected in the refuges. They will happen before. They will happen while we are still in the midst of our spiritual lukewarmness. They will happen while many of us are still attached to sins, vanities, material concerns. They will happen as part of the very purification process that will prepare us for the warning, not as a consequence of it. But the most shocking revelation, the one that shattered the illusions of thousands of faithful, came immediately after. When Luz de María explained the true meaning of the refuges in the final purification. Brothers, prepare your hearts for this truth that may be difficult to accept. I am noticing that people think that being in the refuge is a means to escape the moment of purification, said the visionary with grave and worried tone. But it is not so. We will all have to go through the purification. We will all have to be purified to be worthy of going to the refuges. Brothers, do you understand the revolutionary scope of this revelation? The refuges are not bunkers where to hide from catastrophic events. They are not fortresses where to flee from purification. They are not shortcuts to avoid suffering, which God has permitted for our spiritual good. The refuges are places where the faithful already purified through catastrophic events will be able to find protection during the final persecution of the Antichrist. They are sanctuaries for those who have already gone through the fire of purification and have emerged transformed, sanctified, worthy of being protected during the last battle between good and evil. The visionary clarified with unequivocal words. The refuge does not represent an escape route from tribulations, but rather a place where the already purified faithful will be able to find protection during the final persecution. This purification through catastrophic natural events is necessary, is indispensable, is part of the divine plan. Why? Because it allows humanity to become better creatures, better children of God. Souls worthy of entering the era of peace, which will follow the triumph of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. That is why all this will happen before the time of the refuges, and not after, concluded Luz de María, definitively closing every possibility of alternative interpretation. Toward the conclusion of the